morning! Surprise! I'm doing a reaction to something that you probably don't even know exists. Famitsu is having a Mega Drive Mini 2 presentation this morning at 4 a.m. And because I don't like it being hot, I didn't get much sleep. So I'm been awake since like 2:30. And I figured I might as well just stay awake for this and I would live react to it. It's about 20 minutes out. In case you didn't read my fevered responses to the Mega Drive Mini 2 announcement on Levels Plus, I am especially excited about this thing. I even wrote this article, which I just plopped on the screen for you to see, about my hopes and dreams. So while we wait, I'll just quickly kind of run through some of the things that I in particular would love to see show up at today's conference. Now, there's going to be 2 more of these announcing more games, and they announced 11 already, so I'm expecting 11 or so to be announced today. But what I would like to see, Herzog's Sway, I would like to see Bare Knuckle 3, I'd love to see Rocket Knight Adventures, I would love to see Battlemania and Battlemania Daigenjo. I think Gauntlet 4 would be cool for M2's purposes. M2 is developing this much like they did with the original. And then, I'm going to scroll a little bit. I think Crusader of Senti would be awesome. I would love to see Glay Lancer show up. I really enjoy playing that on the Switch. Twinkle Tail, I think, would be interesting because it's a very rare game. We're also getting Sega CD games on this particular model, 5 of which have been announced already. So I expect we'll probably get 5 more. Ones that I would be pretty stoked about would be KO Flying Squadron, the 2 Lunar games, Cosmic Fantasy Stories, which Adia, who owns the rights to these now, announced this morning that they are doing a fundraising project to re-release these games on the Switch, so it's possible. And then I suppose Dean and Aleste would be nice, because it would be great to actually have Aleste on a mini console, since I didn't get Musha on the North American version of this. This is supposedly going to be localized. Sega of America or Sega of Europe have not said anything about that yet. But just to cover what is on here real fast, we do have Bonanza Brothers Fantasy Zone, which is a brand new port of the arcade game by the creator of the Darius Genesis port, Magic Utaru-Kun, Mansion of Hidden Souls, Popful Mail, Shining Force CD, Shining in the Darkness, Sylphied, Sonic CD, Thunder Force 4, and Virtual Racing, which is a pretty stellar lineup all on its own. And does show that Sega is willing to fork out some money for licensing fees, with Magical Taru Ruto-kun being a licensed game from Game Freak. So yeah, that's kind of the current situation. We still have about 15 minutes or so to go, so let's jump back in when this actually starts. Alright, looks like we are jumping in. So let's see what else is coming onto this thing. So this is what they've already announced, which I think, as I said at the top of the video, is absolutely incredible what they've got so far. It's a really strong initial lineup of 11 games. This one's one I'm not familiar with. The rest of the Sega CD ones I do have some familiarity with. I haven't played them, but at least I've heard of them. But Mansion of Hidden Souls, which is the one that I don't know, is apparently pretty well regarded in Japan. So the goal of the Mega Drive Mini 2, from what I have read, is to basically make this like the fan version of the console, including a bunch of stuff that Japanese players would love to have in a mini console. That was the intent, which is partially why I think they went the full mile to get Sega CD games on here. So let's see what else is coming onto this thing. Alright, well, they're putting up the names of the games, it seems like, but I will not be able to tell you what they are. Oh, okay, here we go, they're showing. So Outrun. Outrun is a game that should have been on here. I agree. I don't think I actually put it on here originally on my list, but it's definitely one that I'm glad to see on here, because Outrun is one of Sega's most important games in terms of their arcade legacy, and the Genesis port does a respectable job of bringing that game to the 16-bit console. Something with a 2 at the end. Afterburner 2. Another one that should have been here. In terms of trying to capture those super scalar games. So yeah, this is a good call as well. This was a pretty early game on the Genesis, if I remember right. And this one actually did require some licensing. So good to see that it made it on here. Alright, game number 3. Night Striker from Taito. Well, that's fascinating. So I've heard of this game, but it's not one that I've actually seen featured on anything as of late in terms of Taito's output. But this looks like it's kind of its own take on a Afterburner-like behind-the-back type of game. Yeah. Well, if you haven't gathered by now, I'm really into Taito stuff, so the fact that there are Taito games appearing on the Mega Drive Mini 2 is really exciting. The biggest issue I am seeing with this one, though, is that it is a little hard to parse what's happening. Because there is an awful lot happening. But that's pretty exciting. Alright, number 4. The Ninja Warriors. Wow, they are going all in on Taito stuff. I'm pretty sure this is the Sega CD, because I don't think this came out on the Genesis, did it? Well, this is kind of rad that they're pulling in Taito stuff. The Ninja Warriors is definitely not their strongest arcade work, but it is a notable release from Taito, especially on the soundtrack front. And it's 2-player, which is kind of cool. I think that would actually be the preferred way to play this game. And while it definitely doesn't look quite as nice as the arcade original, it looks pretty solid. You still have the cyborgs taking battle damage. Yeah, this is the Sega CD one. That's really cool, because the Sega CD one has a really strong soundtrack. So we'll get Daddy Mulk in all of its glory. All right, number 5. Is a Namco game, and it is Starblade. This is one I am not familiar with. Alright, so this is a first-person shoot-'em-up that is using a bunch of polygons. So this has to be a Sega CD game. I don't think this would be on the Genesis. So kind of a competitor to Star Fox in a sense. This is pretty impressive, actually, to be running on a Sega CD. The polygonal models are pretty simple, but effective. Is Something Part 2. It's Splatterhouse 2. So I guess 3, but 2 is also a good get. I am not surprised that Splatterhouse made an appearance on this. It makes sense. It just needed Namco to be on board to confirm that that was the case. But Splatterhouse 2 and 3 have definitely got that cult status that I think fans would want to have on this thing. We'll see if 3 joins it or not, but at the very least, I feel good about getting one of these half right. Alright, Game 7. It's another Bandai Namco game. I did barely see that in the corner. It's licensed, but I couldn't tell you what it is yet. Oh, I recognize the character, but I couldn't tell you. But it's an RPG of sorts, maybe? An action game? What is this game? I recognize these characters. It's really cool seeing Sega like pull out all the stops on this thing and like licensing anime games that are pretty good. Is Megapanel. Wow, they are going all out on the Namco games. This one was one I did see when I was researching games for my article list. That it's a puzzle game of sorts. So this one doesn't surprise me too much, but it's not one that I would have guessed because I don't typically think of puzzle games. Alright, number 9. Is one of the puzzle and action games. Which isn't a surprise, given that Bonanza Brothers is here, and these are spiritual sequels to that. I can't say that I'm shocked these are appearing. I don't know if this is Ichidant-R or what the other one is, but it's one of those two. Game 10 that they're showing off today has a 3 in it. Oh, it's Columns 3. Well, that's a great way for me to feel deflated. I hate columns. Well, I won't sit here and complain at you for the entire time they're showing off this game. We'll see if they have anything else that they're going to throw out as a fun little extra at the end. Alright, I had a feeling they were going to show off a bonus title. They snuck it in. So let's see what this is. This looks like, ooh, Starmobile by Mindware. Okay. Well, there's a but. Oh, so this is a different type of puzzle game. It seems. Interesting. So this looks like another game that has been ported to the Genesis Mega Drive well after the fact. And stars have different weight. This is interesting. I don't know a whole lot about this. I wonder if the goal is to try to keep it balanced. That's actually kind of a neat idea for a puzzle game. Alright, well, while this is going to recap those games, I'm sure. Yep. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. So what I will say is that out of the 11 games shown off today, a lot of them look pretty neat, but none of them were on my list exactly. Splatterhouse 2 was the closest, but there's some pretty cool looking stuff that was revealed. Like Starblade, I think, really stands out. Ninja Warriors is great. It's probably the best home port of that. This RPG looks interesting based on, now that I actually looked it up, Fushigi no Umi no Nadia, or Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water. And the Starmobile game looks pretty cool, actually. I just looked it up while I was waiting for the section to end, and thought it was kind of it's a good port of a PC Engine CD Sharp X6800 game that hasn't been seen in a long time. So, a solid 11 games on top of the 11 that were already announced. So my hope is that there's going to be another presentation in July, as well as in August, if my memory is correct. I think there's 2 in August, actually. And we'll get more stuff. So it's looking like it's going to be at least 52. They said over 50. If they keep doing a bonus game every time, there's going to be 55, which is a very beefy lineup. So there's plenty of time to get the games that I would really like to see on here next. But I think Sega's doing a good job with this. There's stuff on here that I didn't guess that I should have, like Outrun and Afterburner 2. I just didn't even think about those for whatever reason. I'm glad they're working with Taito. I'd be surprised if there's too many more Namco games on here, because they went a little ham with Namco. There's 4 of them that showed up from them. And the ports, the brand new ports that they're getting are really interesting. The Fantasy Zone one looks great. This Starmobile one looks great. So yeah, I'm still excited. I would have been more excited if a Lunar actually showed up, or one of the games I cited at the very tip-top of the episode. But I have a feeling that is coming, and they didn't want to use it on the second run of these. That, like, the Lunar games to me sounds like a 4th or 5th video highlight. So I am excited, and I hope that you enjoyed my reaction to seeing all of these games. I will see you Sunday for Capcom Fighting Collection, talking about impressions on that. So until then, my friends, thank you for joining me. Take care.